Okay, guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to Ruslan's video on Mike Todd, which he did, I think, last week. I watch a lot of Ruslan's content and I pretty much agree with, a lot of his views. However, in this video, I wasn't all the way, agreeing. I did agree, with his stance on, I think, what Mike Todd said about 3 years ago about ambition. I did think, that was a bit excessive, like, all ambition is evil. You know, he really did misinterpret that scripture. So yeah, with that I agreed, but with some aspects not so much. But before we even start, I just want to show you a clip because Mike Todd is so hilarious. I cannot even deal. I love him, personally, because, I'm really into pastors, that can keep my engagement as well as be, theologically sound, because I do feel like he does have good theology. Obviously he does make mistakes here and there, but for the most part I do think he has good theology, and I think that he does, he's such an effective communicator. This man can sing, I'm pretty sure he can act as well. Like, he can do everything. Like, it's actually scary. And I feel like he's literally made for this. I'll get into my other points later on, but yeah, he's just hilarious. I just want to show you this clip in Ruslan's video that literally had me cackling. I literally was at one point crying. But yeah, let me show you it real quick.
Year ago, almost to the date, God sent a dynamic person that was in the deep to speak to me and say, I'm taking you deeper. I never thought what happened last week would ever happen, but she said even down to the clouds and the water, and it's like a big production. We didn't even have this a year ago, but God sent a word to let me know that he was thinking about the dynamic while I was still in the shallow.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny to me. Okay, in case you don't know what I mean, like, when he ended it, like, literally, it's the last bit. He was like, while I was in the deep, like, the way he said it literally just had me cackling. He's so dramatic, so extra. I absolutely love it. He's so funny. But yeah, I just thought I'll just start off with that. He's absolutely hilarious. Such an effective preacher from my point of view. But what I wanted to talk about is actually what a subscriber said in one of in this, I think, Ruslan video, and he said something really really interesting. And essentially he was saying that why can't Christians do things to like a high standard, like a high quality? And I was like, oh, that's actually like an interesting thing, because I feel like with Christianity it's always kind of like low budget is supposed to be acceptable. Like, doing things to like a high standard, a high quality, is seen as like bad. And I don't actually think that's right. It doesn't seem, something about it doesn't seem right. Why shouldn't we? Especially, Mike Todd's church is, Transformation Church, and they obviously do have that budget because, look at the building, it looks amazing. So if you can budget for it, and if his audience as well, they want things to like a higher standard, why not? Because for me in particular, I think I have, somewhat of an interesting perspective, because I go to Hillsong, and Hillsong is quite, I mean, I've never really seen like a boat, but they do high production preaching, and I love it. And that's one of the things that drew me to the church, because there's this thing as well that preaching should be solid theological. Preaching needs to just be like boring and very like not nothing like entertaining. And people need to understand that at the same time, we're human beings. Like, we have a real attention span that is not that long. So you need to be captivating, or people literally will sleep. And a lot of churches, I'm not gonna lie, they're really early, like at 9 a.m. in the morning. Like, give us a break. Like, you need to make sure you're engaging us, because a lot of people can sleep with their eyes open. So you need to be able to wake them up from their sleep. And I do like how he's really engaging, and I do think that there is some merit into having like a you know, big productions, because usually for me props and all these things really do stick in my mind and really do help me remember things. And I know that Ruslan wasn't saying that that is bad, and I do think that there is truth to, like, you know, I mean, if you're you know, if the congregation, you know, the community, the church is not doing all that great, people are, you know, struggling financially, should you really be having a boat and water that maybe had cost like 5,000, six figures to do? And obviously I don't think that would be right, but as long as a church is good, I feel like there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. I think that there needs to be some sort of middle ground. Like, we don't need to be poor, like in our presentations and what we do for the Lord. But I do, and we shouldn't necessarily be like, oh my gosh, let's bring like a Rolls Royce on the stage. That is excessive, but there should be some sort of, middle ground where we could do things, that are of high standard, high quality, but at, an affordable price. Like, do it in a way in which you're being smart about how the money's been used. But yeah, I do feel like we kind of need to tackle that kind of, you know, that type of way of thinking within the church where, things need to be low budget, things need to be, not of high quality. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? Let me know what you think down below. Do you think churches should really, not be doing anything elaborate? Do you think Mike Todd's, the way he preaches is, not of God? Let me know what you think down below. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.